Hey y'all, this is Joe from St. Bernard Acres. I'm here at Wheeling. I'm going to try to replace the fuel lines. I noticed when I got this weed eater out, the line was leaking, the fuel line was leaking. So I'm going to try to replace it myself. So hang on. This is an Echo. That steam whistle over at the chewing tobacco plant to let everybody know it's time to get ready to get off of work. This is an Echo SRM-210. If you guys remember, I bought this at the pawn shop last spring for 50 bucks. And let me tell you, it has been a beast. We have used the crap out of it. So I pulled the fuel line off that had a little hole in it. And I went to Lowe's, I went a couple of places, and I couldn't find one that fit. So I went online. Fuel lines were running at the places I checked. If I could have found one to fit, it would have been $4 or $5 bucks. But I went to Amazon and I got this kit for $8.32 with prime shipping. With it, you get the grommet that goes in the tank, all of the lines. So, fuel line with a brand new fuel filter, the primer pump return line, and the breather. So I got that. You also get, in that kit, 2 primer buttons, in case you need that. You also get gaskets if you have to replace the primer button. You get both gaskets for that whole assembly there. You get a new filter, air filter, for inside here, and you get a new spark plug for it. All for $8.32. So what I'm going to change today is the filter. I don't need the primer buttons, so those are going to go in a baggie and marked. I may change the spark plug, I don't know, but I want to get the fuel lines on for sure. But those will go in a baggie, marked what they are, what they're for, and hung up in my shop. So if I ever need primer buttons for it, or if I have to replace the spark plug, if I don't do it today, it's right here, it's easy to replace. So the first thing I got to do is take off the fuel tank. There are 2 Phillips head screws in there that hold the tank on. And I'll go ahead and disconnect the other line. Just a matter of pulling it off. So now both lines are disconnected. And if I can find the screw in there, and it's not too rusted out. There we go. Screw number 1. I didn't want to have to take this whole guard off to do this. I thought I should be able to get that out. There's the fuel tank. What I like about this, now I helped a friend change the fuel line on a Craftsman. It did have this grommet that you could pull out. To put one of these hoses inside those little holes there is an amazing operation. It is hard to do. So I'm going to change sides right now and get on the other side so I can do this. and I'm hoping I can beat the rain. I take this cover off. That filter doesn't look bad, but since I have a new one, or a new gasket, I may as well replace it. That filter is replaced. Yeah, I guess it was kind of dirty, and it's hard. So we're finished with that. Now if I take the fuel tank, you see there's no fuel in it, it all leaked out. I'm thinking I can use these needle nose pliers and pull this grommet out. I could be wrong. I may have to go get something else. But this is what I brought with me. There it is. And there is the old fuel filter. The old breather. Wow, it was quite dirty. I'm gonna go get a rag so I can clean all this stuff up. But you can see I needed to replace that fuel filter anyway. And I got a brand new one with this kit. And I definitely needed to replace that breather. That allows the fuel tank to breathe. But let me get a couple rags, I'll be right back. This really doesn't need to be clean, but this will wipe it off. I have to be careful. Oh no, it's starting to rain. I'm going to put this in here. I'll put the filter in. And then that grommet, I should be able to force down in there. Just like the other one came out. So we have the new grommet and hoses in place. Now let me see if I can work the fuel tank back up in there. Okay, that wasn't too difficult. Now we get the screws in. That's where a magnetic screwdriver would come in handy. Alright. Did that left-handed. See if I can get this side in. Alright, so the fuel tank's back on. Now, hooking the fuel lines back up. I'll have to come back on the other side for that. There are two different sizes, one for the primer bulb return and one for the fuel pickup. And get those on, I have to push. I mean, they got to be cut because they're so long. Probably should have pushed these in to ram it back in. Now I put some fuel in it, prime it, see if it'll start. This you can barely see, it still has written on it, weed eater. This has my 40-to-1 mixture. The other one is 50-to-1 for the chainsaw. Turn it on. Choke. See if I can get the fuel in there. Might have my lines mixed up. See if we can get some fuel in there now as the rains are coming. Oh yeah, I see it. There, that filled that up. I'd say success. Nothing is leaking, and she's running. I could use a carburetor adjustment, and there's a couple little screws for that, but I'll worry about that later. I want to get this part done. So even if you put the hoses on wrong, you can always swap them out. And I did the first time, I got the wrong ones in place. So I just swapped them out and it's working great now. So I hope y'all see how easy it is to do this on an Echo SRM-210 weed eater. This is my beast. It should be good for a long time now. Hope you enjoyed this. If you did, share it and like it and all those kind of neat things. And feel free to comment. That is all.